Hello, 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 everybody. This is Timberlake. We got the stream going. I saw some people in the chat already. Welcome, Jerry. Welcome, SG. I think we got Yoshi posted a time earlier. Awesome job. So as you join in, please let me know, what state or what country, what province, territory you're from. Just kind of put that in the chat so we can kind of see where everybody's coming in from today. I picked out 3 puzzles. Again, I thought we could solve these together for the chat. You guys have been awesome about this. Please be respectful of the other people in the chat. I've had no problems with that. I'll try solving the puzzles on my own, but every now and then I'll look to the chat. If you see me getting stuck, throw something in there, give me a hint, something you see. I could probably use that. Feel free to put those answers or hints in there. And I'll do my best to respond to questions. I try to go back and forth to the chat. Normally, I might have to wait and go after I'm done solving the puzzle. But I'll read the question out before responding. I know there's a delay. And so I want to make sure you know which question I'm talking to. As always, the puzzle links are in the description of the video. And so you can click on them and try solving them yourselves. Before I go to solving time, I want to say hello to Shamili. I want to say hello to Michael Fry. Thanks for joining. And George Meehan, thank you so much for spending time with me today and with the rest of the Smarty Party and supporters. Okay, this first puzzle, you're looking at it, September 2nd, 2025. It's a gas classic. Clover made it. If you remember, Clover's made puzzles for Puzzle Pack. She did the House of Tudor one here back in August. Amazing setter. I look back for a classic that seemed that people had a little bit of trouble solving, as far as one hats versus two hats. If you know, they put puzzles out there every day. And I haven't solved this one before, unlike the other 2,318 people. But I'm going to try solving it without using any marks. It's supposed to be an approachable puzzle. The whole idea, solving without marks, is to work on your short-term memory, and it'll help you with the solving the harder puzzles down the road as well. So let's work on that, and with that, it's solving time. So here we go. Again, not going to do any marks. I might do some coloring, just kind of show some of the things, ideas that I want to bring out to you. So I noticed right away with these 2 8s, it's going to be an 8 right here. So another thing with solving without marks, I'm not necessarily going to go through restrictions 1 through 9. It's going to be more for what I see with the hidden naked singles, because I know the puzzle is going to be a little bit easier. So this 6 comes up. They're going to be in one spot here in block 1. So we'll make that solve. And then now you can see here we have a nice lock triple here. You got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. So this would be a 5, 7, 9 coming down column 2. With the 5, 7 right here and the 5 repeated, neat naked triple trick, right? That's got to be your 5s, has got to be a 9, and that's going to be a 7. So you can solve all 3 of those pretty quickly. And then look at the impact, row, column, and block. With these 2 9s, the only place for a 9, and block 3 is going to be right there. Other things to point out, got another lock triple going on, because you got this 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 9. This would be a 4, 6, and an 8 right here. So I know that's a 4, 6, 8. You look down, 6 and 8, not enough to solve these 3, but then what does that leave you with? It should leave you with a 1, 2, and a 3, right? And so with these 3s, this is going to be a 3, and now the 1's got to be here, that's got to be a 2. Okay, so there's different ways to look at this, and you see the way Clover designed this, as we're starting to fill out these rows and these blocks, just kind of follow the solve. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, so you need a 6, 7, 8 right here. 8 and a 6, can't solve that yet. Right here, I'm just looking at these locked triples. Looks like a 1, 2, 4 to finish row 2. 1, 2, 4. So what I know is I can't solve those right away, but got those in the working memory. Okay, other things here. We got these 2s. I know I can solve for 2 in column 2. Another locked triple, right? This looks like a 1, 3, and a 4. Well, we got the 1, 4 right there, so this is going to be a 3. I know that's going to be a 1, 4. So I could color it and go, yep, that's a 1, 4, and I'll come back to it, or just kind of remember, hey, that's going to be a 1, 4. Impact, row, column, block, because of 3, solve for 3 right there. Nice. And then another impact, these 2s, solve for, well, a 2 right there. Don't know why I hit a 3. And then with these 2s, and this 2, it's all for 2 right there. Awesome. And see, there's only 1, 2 here, so I can't solve those 2's just yet. But we made a lot of progress there. And now you want to look and see what else can you do. Well, the 7 cuts across. You can solve for 7 right here. And then I'm going to immediately look and see if I can solve for 7 in block 6. Can't do that, but create another block triple. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 3, 4, and a 9. 3, 9 here. 3 repeated. Neat naked triple trick, right? That's the 4. That's the 3. That's going to be the 9. If you find that, you can always get those nice 3 solves right away. In case you're not familiar, I have a tutorial called Triple Cell Solving Tricks. That's where you can find all about that whole neat naked triple trick. But I try to call it out as I do it. I thought it was kind of a neat thing to help solve more than one cell at a time. Greatest impacts and great restriction in column 6 here. So we got, looks like a 4 and a 6. Well, with this 6 right here, you know, that's going to be the 4. That's going to be the 6. And now with this 4, you remember that was a 4, 6, 8. So there's the 4, there's the 8. So that's where that working memory comes into play to get those solves a little bit quicker. And then you remember here, this was a 1, 4, right? So you know that's got to be a 4, that's got to be the 1. And now just look at the impact, these 1s and this 1. Solve for 1 right there. Leaves you with 2 cells here. Looks like a 5. I'm just scanning down column 5, 5 and a 6. Yep. So there's a 6, there's a 5. If you can solve 2 cells, 3 cells at a time, do it. And the way blocks are done in rows and columns, it's convenient to doing like these multiple cell solves like I'm showing you. 7, 8, 9 right there. I know with these 8s, that's got to be an 8. So this is a 7, 9, and you can commit to working memory. Also 7, 9 this way, and this 7 is going to be the key, right? That's the 9, that's the 7, and that's the 9. Nice. And then what you see here, this is interesting. This 2 and 9 have to be in these 2 cells, right? So it makes them a hidden triple in these 2 cells because they can't be here. And so now you know if this is 2 and a 9, I'll just color this. This has to be, looks like a 5, 7. So that's a 5, 7. 5, 7 across row 7. This 7 again is going to help you make a bunch of solves. So that's a 5, that's a 7, that's a 5. This one I call the right angle trick, is when you're using a solve from over here to get over into another block completely. All right. If I know that's a 2, 9, what's got to be here? 6 or 7? That's 7. Just super powerful. There's a 7, there's a 6. Okay. What does it leave in column 3? Looks like a 1 and a 3. So there's a 1, there's the 3. And then again with these 3s and this 3, solve for 3 here. I'll leave the 2, 9 up just as like a memory aid and kind of show you that we'll eventually solve that. 4 and a 9 here. Can't do the 4, 9 yet. Okay, so now you want to look and go, what other restrictions have we made across here? So this is 6, 7, 8. We haven't done enough to solve for that. This was a 1, 2, 4. Haven't added to that. So then you're looking and going, okay, well, we got to come across, you know, that's 4, 5, 9. Okay, now we can make some solves. 4, 9 right there means this has to be the 5. That's going to be the 4, 9. So I'm sure SG would appreciate this. You got a 4, 9 here, 4, 9 here, 4, 9 here. So this cell right there, you could solve using uniqueness, right? You could eliminate a 4 and 9 from right there to prevent a unique solution. I don't have to go all the way to that just in a gas puzzle, but it's there if you need that. All right, 1, 6, and an 8 across row 5 because of the 1, 6. That's got to be an 8, and now follow the impact here with these 8s and this 8. This is going to be the 8 right there. If you remember, this was a 6, 7, 8, so there's your 6 and 7. Okay? And now look at the impact there with these 6s and this 6. This is going to be a 6 right here. It's going to be a 1 to finish row 5. Now look at these 1s. That's a 1. And remember 2, 4. So here's a 4. So there's a 4, and there's going to be your 2. And now this 4 allows you to solve the 9, 4, and a 9 right there. We can tell you this cell cannot be a 4 or 9. And sure enough, it can't be. This 9 is going to allow you to solve that 2 and the 9 right there. So we can get rid of those colors. And then it looks like you got a 5 to finish column 9. And then the last 2 cells, I just look in the block. It looks like you need a 4 and a 7. Pull up the 7. So here's your 7, and there's your 4. All right. Check out the chats. Hey, Jerry from Michigan. Awesome. Michael's from California. Thanks for putting that in the chat. George, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Awesome. Yeah, I've been to Lancaster. I've been to, remember right, kind of the Amish country area. I used to live in the Northeast. Loved heading out that way. West Virginia, Jeffrey, thanks for joining. Scotland, Dennis. Okay, Douglas, I was in Scotland. No kidding, 2 weeks ago. Did a trip with my wife. Spent some time, went from Inverness down to Oban, over to Edinburgh. Lovely, love that country, one of our favorites. I'm so glad that you're here today. 6 or 7, cute, SG, love it. Yep. And all right, thanks for all the marks there, SG. Good deal. Okay, it is time for some shout outs. We could not have the internet's best Sudoku community without you watching and supporting the channel. In case you didn't notice, we are moving. I'm moving the platforms, membership platforms, from Buy Me a Coffee over to Kajabi membership this month. If you're a Smarty Party member, you got an email from me, you'll get a few more. I'm trying to compensate you, help you out with that move. Thank you for your time, but it's going to give you more opportunities if I'm on Kajabi. I can give refunds easier. I can broadcast emails a lot easier. I can upload the puzzle packs easier, the solution videos. It's just an easier way for me to communicate with you. It's a much more robust system. So thank you for your patience during this time. So thanks for all the support to help me, put it on an actual website, smarthobbies.com, be supported by Kajabi, which is like the website builder. So all the coffees, tips, super thanks from last month. Thank you, Juanita Ecker, Philip Coates, RJ, Mary Scott, Stephen Berksey, Anthony McDonald, Beth, Goddess Popper, OQ, Craig Morrison, Kenneth Miller, David Jellison, Jim, David Crum, Georgianne Lofter, who also gave me a coffee. Thank you so much. John Fox did a super thanks through YouTube. You can still do that if you want. Appreciate it, John. Pekka Varista or Pivor, super thanks. I believe he gave me more than one. Really appreciate that. Love commenting with you. Terry Sangiomo, Chance Brown, Raymond Smith, Jason Mundy, Christy Walsh, NJR Gordon, and Jennifer Price. So those are the people in the month of September. I do have a few thanks coffees already in October. I'll add that to next month. I try to do it by calendar month. But I appreciate that support. I cannot believe how big we've grown and where we're going. In case you didn't notice, we're almost at 30,000 subscribers, which is like 7 times the amount we were last year at this time. Unbelievable the amount of people we're reaching to help solve Sudoku, help prevent dementia, keep your mind smart, because that's really what it's all about, keeping your mind smart. Very sharp here. All right, puzzle 2. Here you go. So this is an interesting puzzle. I was working through a puzzle book called Sudoku Puzzles, volume 519. I sometimes like solving with paper and pencil. I'll go to the dollar store, buy a puzzle book, check out the hardest puzzles they have to offer. This one, I thought it was very interesting because there's something that happens at the very beginning. And I'm going to apply what I call the 5-step solving process to the puzzle. So I will be using marks. This is a solving process I cover in depth in my Sudoku Masterclass. So if you know the terms of the top 7 strategies, but you just don't know how to apply them, how to use the techniques, how to get like an active working knowledge of those, I recommend that masterclass. I walk you step by step through a solve very slowly, explain each solve as I do it, each technique as I do it, and I give some bonus videos. There's about 5 mistakes you got to worry about. I give you a puzzle pack that you can work through and solve, so you can see what my puzzle packs are all about. Fun time. So that's the Sudoku Masterclass. It is now available again on the smarthobbies.com website. I had it off for a few weeks after the initial launch. I made some tweaks. It's now available. If you want to do that, just go on to Smart Hobbies and you can find the masterclass for you. And you get lifetime access. And so if you know the top 7 strategies, you don't know where to apply them, I'll show you how to do it in this particular puzzle here that you see. All right. And again, the link is in the description if you need it. So with that, it's solving time. Okay. So check out where the ones can be. And this time we will do the traditional markings. These ones and these ones. 2 places for a 1 here. Just kind of want to mark the restrictions. And so this is step number 1. Look for digit restrictions 1 through 9. It really will help you find a lot of the easy solves when you start the puzzle and find where the difficulties are going to be. I don't see any other marks or solves with the 1s. You don't want to mark if there's at least 3 possibilities. You want to be 2 or less. Okay, look at the 2s. With these 3 2s, 2 places for a 2 in block 4. And then with this 2 cutting across, you'll notice this is kind of like a pointing triple of 2s. So then it's going to restrict the 2 to these 2 cells right here, right? Since a 2 has to be in one of these spots, can't be here or here. And then with this 2 cutting across, you can solve for 2 right there with this 2. 2 places for a 2 here. And now this pointing triple is actually more going to be a pointing pair. All right. I think that's all we can do with the 2s. Look at the 3s. You'll notice with these 2 3s and this 3, 2 spots for a 3 here in block 1. And then 3 places for a 3 here with this 3. So interesting thing going on here. Because of this 3 cutting across, you notice the 3 can't be in this spot, right? So where can a 3 be in column 8? It can't be in block 3 or block 6 in column 8. So a 3's got to be in one of these 3 cells in column 8 in block 9. Because you have a 3 right there. This is actually a claiming pair of 3s. Hopefully you'll see that. So you can eliminate 3 from here, here, and here, right? Well, you do one better. Because of that 3, you can actually solve for a 3 right there. So if you notice this ends up being a nice hidden single 3 there. So just kind of compare it to those other 3s. Pretty cool. All right, anything else with the 3s? Yes, 2 3s right here. All right, move on to the 4s. What you might see, you might be like, oh, there's not much with the 4s until you notice. You can solve for a 4 right there. 3 4s here won't mark that. But with these 2 4s, going to forego in block 8. It's got to be right here. And since you only have 2 cells remaining, it's worth looking at and marking or solving if you can. You need a 5 and a 7. With this 5 here, that's going to be a 5, that's going to be a 7. There's no reason to pass up an easy solve like that. Look at the impact on the 4s. 3 4s here, not going to mark. More than 2 4s there. I think we're good on the 4s. How about the 5s? Okay, whenever you have 4 of a particular digit looking into a block, you know you can solve it. There's only going to be one possibility remaining. So that's got to be a 5. These 5s, 2 5s right here. 2 5s in block 7. And anything else with the 5s? Nope. How about the 6s? Okay, 2 6s in block 1. You got 2 6s in block 5. And, well, these 2 6s, you can solve for 6 in block 9. I think that's all we can do with the 6s just right now. Yep. How about the 7s? All right. Not seeing anything we can do with the 7s right away. How about the 8s? 2 places for an 8 here in block 5. And got a pointing pair of 8s here in block 7, right? Because this 8 cuts across. This 8 comes down to go with this 8. So you can mark 8s there in block 1. Nice restriction there. And then the other thing, you're going to have another hidden single here with 8s, right? You notice, look at this 8 cutting across there. This 8 cuts across here. Where can the 8 be in column 8? It's got to be right there. And so now it allows you to displace that 8 and solve this cell for an 8. So if you can find those hidden singles, a little bit harder with the initial scanning, but it's possible you can make the solve. And then right away I can see with this 1, there's no 1 in row 7. It's got to be here, which allows you to solve for a 9 right there. All right. So continue on with, we're still on step 1 of the solving process. And look how many solves you made. So that's 8s. Move on to the 9s. And you'll see 3 9s here, not marking. 2 9s here. And let's see, can you make a solve? You got 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. You need a 2, 7, 9. The 2, 7, and 9 are all in 3 different spots. And so with this 7, you can actually mark 7s there. Maybe I missed the marks. And you'll notice is now these are all bi-value cells. Like there's only 2 places for 2 there. The 7s are there. The 9s are there. So could make that all BVCs if you want to have it look a little bit easier for you. But that's step 1, going through and find all the marks. Step 2 is you go back through if you made any solves and look for, to see if there's any more easy solves to make. And there probably are. Look at all these marks we've made, right? First thing I'm curious of is here, 3, 7, 9. You know, this has got to be 7, 9. So it looks like it'd be a 3, 9. And that's a 3, 7, 9. And you want to place an emphasis on pairs and triples. That's kind of step 3. Kind of blends in together there, right? And look and go, what's of interest here is, what can this row be? Looks like it can be 4 or 7. Okay. And then because of this 7 right here, this is what I thought was interesting about this particular puzzle. Where can the 7 be in row 1? It can be in these spots, right? And where can the 7 be in row 9? It can be in these spots. So this puzzle is rated medium. However, if you notice this, and I can do the rest of the marks there. It looks like it's a 3, 7, 8. You might notice there's an X-wing right here in this puzzle. And with this 3, 7, that's an 8. So you can see there's an X-wing of 7s. The 7's got to be there and there, or there and there. Now, the puzzle's rated medium. Is it needed to solve the puzzle? No. But you can use it to make some eliminations if you want to. What you could do is you can eliminate 7s from these cells, and you can eliminate a 7 from right here. So in theory, you could have 7s in these 2 spots right there. Hopefully this is making sense, right? 7's got to be there and there, or there and there. So you know this can't be a 7. You put a 7 there, you block out 7s. Basically, you'd end up having to put in row 1 and 9 a 7 in the same column. And then here, a 7 can't be there, so the 7's going to be in these 3 spots. They can't be in these spots. Well, because of this, they can't be there anyway. So I thought that was just kind of interesting there. Again, not needed. What else can we do? Impact, row, column, and block. You're looking for these heavy houses, you know, the ones that have at least 5 cells filled out. Looks like you need a 1, 4, 9 here. And so with this one and this one, what I'm seeing, 1's here, 1's here. This would be a 4, 9. The 9 is one of these cells, right? Because this is a locked triple. The 4 is right there, so this is going to be a naked single one. And then that can be a 4, 9. Hopefully you saw that. All right, I'll remove the colors for the X-wing. Sometimes strategies are overkills, but hey, if it's a valid strategy, it works no matter the situation, right? And then these ones, the impact here, 1s would be in block 3. Okay, what other solves are we seeing here? You got 1, 2, 8, 3, 6. So you need a 4, 5, 7, 9. So this would be, looks like a 4, 5, 9. 4, 5, 7, 9. Nothing really of interest right there. What do you got here in column 8? It looks like you need a 1 and a 7. So I can mark that. This is a 1, 2, 4, 7. Can't really do much. I know this can't be a 7, so that'd be a 1, 2, 4. Nothing really of interest there. All right, what other digit cells have we filled out? I'll look to the chat, see if you guys see anything. R5, row 5, column 1, naked single. Okay, who called this out? Shamil. All right, so look right here. What can this cell be? He's saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, sure enough, that is a naked single 9, right? It's the only thing that can go there. Nice call out. And now you can look at the impact of that. This can't be a 9 anymore. 3 places for a 9 here. 9's can be here. Nice. Good call. And other things, looking at how the 5s doing. We got all the 5s? Not quite. Okay. All right. How about taking advantage of this 2, 7, 9 lock triple? You got a 1, 4 there, 3, 5, 6, 8. 3, 8. That's a 5, 6. 3, 5, 6 here. 3, 5, 8 there. And it looks like 6 and a 5. This is a 3, 8 here. What does that mean? And it means that 8's can be in one of those cells. We didn't mark that earlier. Okay. Yeah, thought there might be something more there. And so step 3 is to look for pairs and triples. So that's why you're looking at these heavy houses. So like column 5, you got a 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, you need a 2, 6, 9. And so with the 2 here, this would be a 6 and a 9. And you'll start seeing like some more pairs are going to pop up by doing this. 2, 6, 9 there. Okay. And then impact here, that was now a 4, 5, 7. That doesn't help too much. What's in these cells? You notice the 1s and 2s can't be in this cell right there, right? So what could it be? You got a 1, 2, 4, 6. 1, 2. So this is going to be a 4, 6 right there. Okay. And the 4, 6 here, this is actually going to be a 1, 2. Interesting. And so I'm just kind of, looking at the restrictions there. See where the next solve is going to be. 4, 5, 6. I don't want, the danger is to mark too much, and then it gets a really cluttered grid. We don't want that. So how do we not solve how do we not mark too much? Maybe we look at the 3s. Now I know what's going on with the 3s. What does the chat say? Okay, what's a mini X-Wing? I'll show you if I see one, but basically a mini X-Wing versus a big X-Wing is when the X-Wing is restricted to just 2 blocks. So it'd be like the 7s were in these spots and then these spots. That'd be a mini X-Wing because it's just in 2 blocks versus the 4 blocks of a regular X-Wing. Okay, what else we got here? 4s. Nothing of interest there. Want to continue with the heavy houses, right? And follow my own rules because we don't need advanced strategies for this particular puzzle. There's got to be something better. If you remember from the X-Wing, this could be a 1, 2, or 4. Can't be a 7. And this could be a 2, 4, or a 7. Let's fill a little bit more here. What I'm hoping to do is to find, this be a 4, 5, or a 9. Not going to put a 7. So 7 doesn't have to be in any of these spots. I'm trying to find another like naked pair or triple that pops up as we do some of these marks. So what's another heavy house I haven't filled out yet? Or is there something here? 1, 2, 4, 6. So that's a 2, 4, 6. And with this 2, that's a 1, 4, 6. Anything of interest there? No. How about down here, column 4, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 1, 2, 7, and an 8. So that's a 2 or an 8. And that's a 1 or a 7 because of 2, 8 there. And 1, 2, 7 or an 8. And so you know that the 1 and 8's got to be there in this block. Yep. Interesting. Not really finding what I thought we'd find there. Because if you're looking across here, this isn't really a heavy house, right? 2, 3, 5, 8. But you do have the 1, 6 there, so it creates more restriction here. So what's across row 6? Looks like you need a 1, 4, 6, 7, 9. 1 and a 6. This can't be a 7 because of the X-Wing of 7s. 1 and 6. That's a 4, 7. Okay, I think. All right. So now let's go across here. Why are we getting stuck, right? It shouldn't be that hard of a puzzle. I think I've overmarked something. 4, 5, 6, 9. Also got the 1, 2, 5. I think we'll get something going on here, right here. All right. What can this be? Can't be a 1 or 2. Can't be a 4, 5, 6, 9. So this could be 3, 7, or an 8. If you use the X-Wing, that's a 3, 8. 3, 7, 8. And then what's right here? 3, 4. Can't be a 7. 3, 4, 8, 9. All right. What am I missing? I'll pull out the crowd. 27s and box 6. Okay. Aha. Yes, these aren't 7s. These would be 7s. That can't be a 7. And this wouldn't be a 7 either. So what would be right here? Can't be 4, 6, 3, 4, 6. Okay, 1. Let's see here. You usually start with the greatest restriction. All right. So we know 1, 5, 6, 7, 9, 2, 3, 4, 8, 3, 8, 4. I think this is going to be a 2. All right, let's check this out. It can't be a 1. It can be a 2, but it can't be a 3, 4, 5, 6. Pointing pair of 7s can't be a 7, 8, or a 9. Sure enough, it's a nice and naked single 2. Thank you so much for the help on that. That's huge. All right, with that 2 now, you got a 4 right here. There's a 7, there's a 4 right there. That's a 1, that's a 2. You see 1 displaces, 7 displaces the 1, displaces the 5, displaces the 8. That has to be a 3, that has to be a 7. And so with step 3 was pairs and triples. Step 4 would be looking for advanced strategies. When you see this amount of marking and solving going on, you can move on to step 5, which is hunt down the marks. If for some reason you get stuck again, just go back to step 2 or 3 and make some more markings. All right, but this way I can hunt down the marks. 3, that's an 8. This can't be an 8 there. We can get rid of these 8s. And the 3 gives you a 4, 9. They could pair here, which means that's a 7. That's going to be a 3 right there, which makes this a 7. 9, 2, 7 right there. All right, there's the 3. And you just keep playing up these marks. With the 5, that's a 6. Excuse me, that's a 3. Ah, that's not a 3. That's a 7. Ah. There's a 1, which means that has to be the 1. All right, and continue on with the 6. That's a 4. I'm hitting a lot of wrong buttons here. Sorry about that. There's a 6. There's a 2. 4, you can disambiguate the 9, 4 right there. Solve this for a 9. With the 2 there, that's got to be your 6. This has got to be your 8. And this is going to be your 2 right there. Nice. Okay, continue on with the solves. With this 4, this can't be a 4. Because of these 7s, it has to be a 7. And you're looking at, now, the 5 has to be right there. This is going to be your 9, disambiguating the 4 right there. And the last 2 solves, you got a 5 and a 9. Pull up the 9 here. There's your 9. Last digit is a 5. Okay. Good job showing that. Thanks for your help there. Appreciate it. Sorry, I got a little bogged down with that. Use the triple in row 5, the 1-2 pair in row 5. Thanks for the help, people. Okay, now with the second round of shout-outs, I got new Smarty Party members from last month. Welcome Grant Openhuis, Georgianne DeLofter, Steve R., Patrick Bonnier, Cloakinator, Kenneth Miller, Len, and Alexandru. Thank you so much. Welcome you to Smarty Party. Appreciate that. And now I want to congratulate everyone who saw that September 2025 pack. It was the Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl. Themed on that movie. It had X-Wings like X marks the spot. Puzzles by Sam Kappelman-Lyons, one of the best creators in the business. In fact, all the people I've got now making you puzzle packs, they are the best creators. These are the people they use for world championships. These are the ones that Cracking the Cryptic goes to when they want a really good puzzle to solve. All right, so congratulations to Johan Beck, Jerry Byrne, I saw her on here, Jen Starr, Corsten Dietrich, Paul Monet, David J. Byler, EKW555, Ed, Douglas Lardo, Greg L., Aaron Wells, Martin, Carol Emmerich. Carol, I think, has solved almost every single pack. She's been with me since the first month. Awesome. Aaron's been around a long time as well. Mike Mott, Good job, Mike, Nick, Walter, and Yoshi Baroshi, who's also created some of the puzzle packs himself. Thank you so much. All right, so this month's pack, if you haven't seen it, I did a video out on Wednesday. It's called Rocktober, the world's best rock trios. It's puzzles by Pietato, another great setter. It is available to members on the Kajabi membership platform. Again, Buy Me a Coffee has been great. If you are a member on Buy Me a Coffee, the stuff will still be up there for the time being. I've paused all the payments there, and I've sent you emails. I want you to move over to Kajabi. I've put all the puzzle packs there. You'll have access to every puzzle pack, the solution videos if you're a classic smarty. Also got all the bonus videos. There's a playlist there. It's all in Kajabi for you. Plus, it's easier for me to communicate. If you do that, you can actually do more comments easier with other people when you solve the packs. Really look forward to you all moving over to Kajabi. Thank you for your support in this time. After the third puzzle, I'll tell you how much we raised for AIM. It's a record, I'll tell you that much. But this third puzzle, I wanted to show you this. This is a weird name, right? Puzzle 976, puzzle book for adults. So I had a person, Anuja Paja Shah, reach out to me, sent me some hard puzzles, asked, hey, can you figure out how to solve these? And I made one into a solving video. This one is also very good. It all requires advanced strategy, so it's perfect to show you the 5-step solving process. We will need at least one advanced strategy for this puzzle. But Anuja actually sent me all the hard puzzles from that pack. Thank you so much, Anuja. I'm glad I can help you out with the solving. And we'll kind of run through this one together. And I'll kind of step you through that 5-step process as we do it. So puzzle links in the description if you want it. And with that, it's solving time. Okay, step 1, looking for digit restrictions 1 through 9. With these ones and these ones. Solve for a 1 right there. These ones, solve for a 1 right here. And then with these ones, sorry about that. If I hit the shift button, 2 places for a 1 in block 3. And looks like you can solve for a 1. Oh my goodness. I keep hitting the wrong buttons. I am so sorry. These 2 ones, you can solve for a 1 right here. Displace the 1, solve for a 1 in block 3. Okay. Got all the 1s knocked out. Nice. How about the 2s? Solve for 2 in block 2. These 2, solve for 2 in block 4. And with these 2s, solve for 2 in block 6. Got all the 2s knocked out. Nice. How about the 3s? 2 places for a 3 in block 4. With this 3 and this 3, you got a pointing pair of 3s in block 2. Follow the 3s down. 3's there in block 8. 3 cutting across. 3 places for a 3 in block 9. Not going to mark that. And with this 3 cutting across. So 3 places for the 3's in block 3 and 9, but they're also restricted to column 7 and 9. So it tells me, since you can't have a 3 here or here, because this 3 right here, you have a claiming pair of 3's in block 6. So we'll mark that. Okay, nice. All right, how about the 4's? Don't have any spots for the 4's. 3 places there, not going to mark that. All right, how about the 5's? Got this 5 and this 5. 5's here, so you have a nice hidden pair. 3, 5, right? Restricted to save 2 spots, so nothing else can be there. Gives you a 4, 9 here. You look quickly, you can see that's going to be your 9, that's going to be your 4. And now, if you look at the impact with this 4, you end up with a pointing pair of 4's there. You got a 4, 7 here. So there's a 4, there's a 7. It's okay to do impact, row, column, block, especially if you get really fast. Kind of follow the trail and see what it leads to. With the system I show you going 1 through 9, just remember to go back to what you're doing before. All right, so we did those 4's. We were on the 5's, so then go back to the 5's and go, okay, did we finish marking the 5's? Because this is where you can get yourself in a little bit of trouble by missing some of the easy marks, easy solves, by skipping through the digits. All right, that's it for the 5's. 6's, 2 places for 6 in block 3. And in block 1, 3 places here, not going to mark. And okay, that's it for the 6s. How about the 7s? 2 places for a 7 in block 5. That's all I see with the 7s. 8s. Can solve for an 8 in block 7. Solve for an 8 in block 1 because of these 8s. And with these 8s, 2 8s right there. With these 8s, 2 8s in block block 6. And then with this 8, 2 8s there. Do you ever see the marks on top of each other? You know you found a hidden pair. So that's a 7 8. This is going to be now a nice 4 9 to finish block 5, right? Because you got to have the 7 8 in these 2 spots, 4 9s, all that's remaining. And now you can actually solve right here because you can see the 1 2 3 5s there, 4 6 7 8s there. This has to be a 9. And with the 4 9 here, this is going to be a 3 5 6. Naked triple, lock triple, however you want to look at it. You can do the 3 there. So, still in step 1, kind of combine that a little bit with step 2 and 3. Remember, we were on 7s, we were on the 8s. So, did we get all the 8s marked? We did. Okay, now you want to go back to the 9s and make sure we get the 9s. Because, like, if you didn't do that, you might have missed, this is a in single 9 right there. 3 9s there, 3 9s there, 2 9s there, not going to mark that. So step 2 is to go back through if you got any easy solves and see if you can get some more solves out of the way. So you want to focus on the heavy houses. 7 digits there. This is going to be a 6 7. Doesn't look like you can solve that right away. Other ones to look at would be maybe across row 7 here. You have a 1 2 3 4 8 9. You had a 5 6 7. And so you notice with this 5, that's a 6 7. But more importantly, you can mark the 5 6 7. But this is going to be a claiming pair of 7s, right? The 7 can't be here. It's got to be somewhere in row 7. So this is a claiming pair to go with this 7 and do 7s there. Other way to look at it, if you saw this 7 first, you could go pointing pair of 7s, restrict 7s there. Either way works. All right. Now, as we're making these marks, you only have 6 digits in block 7. 1 2 3 4. So 5 6 7 here. This is going to be 5 6 and 5 6 7. Try to see if any of these pairs match up as you make the marks. Look across row 1. 1 2 6 7 8 9. Need a 3 4 5. This 3. That's a 4 5. And with this 5, that's a 3 4. Can we do anything better than that? Not across there, not yet. All right. You're looking here. It looks like you got a 3 5 6 7. So that's a 3 6 7. And you got the 6 and the 7. So that's a 3 and a 5. Okay. Cool. All right. So you're just kind of marking these. Again, you're looking for those restrictions rows that have at least 5 cells or more filled out. And ideally, try to find pairs, trying to find some triples. Anything else? 4 5 6 7 here. Looks like you got a 4 5 7. All right. 4 5 7 there. But nothing there. And you'll start to notice you make these kinds of marks, it just clutters the grid up. Doesn't really help you. Because there wasn't a lot of restriction what I just marked there. Or like marking this one, you can do 3 4 7. And this would be, looks like 3 4 6 7. But it doesn't really help us too much. That's a 3 4 7. So I don't really like doing that. Okay. So step 3 would be looking for pairs and triples. And we've kind of gone through and we marked up all the grids, all the rows, columns, blocks that had at least 6 cells filled out. There's some with 5 we can continue doing. And so you kind of see you're getting a little stuck here, right? And so then step 4 would be to look for advanced strategies. All right. So look for advanced strategies. We're going to go for individual cells, right? We know we got all the 1s knocked out, all the 2s knocked out. Where can the 3s be in this puzzle? Well, you know, that can't be a 3 because of the pointing pair. So you mark the 3s. And look to see if there's any kind of restrictions you can make off of that. And there's really nothing there, the 3s. I just noticed I can mark 3s right here if I want. Okay. How about the 4s? 2 places for a 4 there. 3 places there. 3 places there. 3 there. 3 there. And you're looking for conjugate pairs. So like how there's 2 places for 4 there. And there, yeah, actually is something going on here. If I marked this right. Interesting. All right. How do we, is there a different way to look at it than what I just found? So the conjugate pair. 2 places for 4 down column 7, right? So 4's got to be here. If it's not there, it's got to be there. Conjugate pair across row 1. So either 4's there. If it's not there, it has to be there. You have them coming out of the same block here. And so what you'll notice, I'll make these yellow. It's okay, there's an extra 4 in this cell here. Make that purple, make this purple. Right? This is a 4. If this is a 4, anything it sees, it can't be a 4, right? If this is not a 4, you put a 4 here, blocks a 4 out there, puts a 4 right there. So whenever you have a conjugate pair coming out of a row, coming down a column in the same block, you found a 2-string kite. A 4's got to be there, at least there or there. This cannot be a 4. And it's easy. If you go backwards and you put a 4 right here, I'll show you. You put a 4 there, you block 4's out of these cells, right? And then what you end up with is the only place a 4 can go in row 1 would be here, but then the only place a 4 could go in column 7 would be right there, and then you have 2 4's in the block, and that is bad. So instead, you can eliminate a 4 from right there. And then what does that do? What's the impact row, column, and block? Once you find one of these advanced strategies, look at the impact row, column, and block. 4's go right there. This can't be a 4. And then you'll notice the 4's are restricted in the same places as the 8s. So now you got a 4, 8 hidden pair, which puts a 5, 6, 7 up here. Okay? So see how that works? All right, so you kind of go back now to step 2, step 3, look for the easy solves, and you continue to go on. Anything else I can do with the 4's? Nope. So you could go and look at the 5's right away, or you can just kind of look at impact row, column, and block right here. Putting a 4 right there, I feel like you add a lot of restriction here to block 4. And what does it do? Gives you now 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. So you got a 3, 5, 7, 9. Okay? So that's a 5, 7, 9, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 3. You already got a 5 right there, 7, 9. Because of 5, 7 here, you know 3, 9's there. 3's can't be anywhere else. What's the other thing you notice? You got restrictions in the 6's here. And so looking across, kind of, looked at that out. I'm kind of curious with the 6's themselves, if there's something we can do with the 6's. And I see there is. So let's look at I'm going to bypass the 5. I'm going to go to the 6's because I see something right now. All right. Got those 6's. Okay, do you see another 2-string kite or some kind of other strategy? 2 ways to look at it. I see a 2-string kite. I also see a skyscraper. I guess since I already showed the kite, well, I'll just show where both are. So 2-string kite's right here, or at least one of them is, across this row and down this column. And you can remove this cell right here. If you saw a skyscraper, which is usually a little easier and might be a little more powerful, it's these columns right there. And there might be even some more advanced strategies to find. Either way, you're going to get the same type of restriction. So let's do the skyscraper. So the skyscraper, you got two sets of conjugate pairs, right? Column 2, column 8. They got to share a row. In this case, they share row 3. And the tips are in the same 3-block band, different rows. And if you could also work it through columns if you needed to. But the point is, 6 has got to be here. If it's not there, it's got to be there. Blocks a 6 out here, puts a 6 in the other purple cell. A 6 has to at least be in one of these purple cells, which means you can eliminate a 6 from any cell that sees both. This can't be a 6 for the same reason we had with that 2-string kite. So by doing that, you make a pointing pair of 6s right here, right? And 6s and 7s. So you end up with a 6, 7. Here we go, 6 to 7 again. Oh my goodness. Hidden pair. And what kind of restriction can you make there? This has to be a 5. And then this is going to be a 3. And that's going to be a 5 right there. All right. I feel like this is what we're looking for to get past the hard part of this puzzle. So let's remove the colors. And now step 5, hunt down the marks. So we made some solves. You want to hunt down the marks. If you get stuck, go back to step 2, 3, or 4. But I can see here with this 5, you got a 6 right there. 5, 7, they could pair there. Okay. With this 6, remove the 6 from right there. You can solve this cell by displacing the 6. Solve for a 6 there. That's got to be a 7. I am not really trying to do the whole 6, 7 thing, but it just can't help it, I guess. There's the 6 there. 7 and a 6 there. All right, I'll just say 7, 6 from now on. Okay. 7, there's a 4. And now you can hunt down the 8 and the 4 right there. You want to get rid of that clutter, devour the clutter as quickly as possible. That's really where you want to go when you're solving. All right, this 3 means that's a 6, that's a 3 there. And where else can we go? This is a 3, 4. 1, 2, 5, 6, 9. So 7, 8 there gives you what? A 3, 5, and a 9 here. I can't really solve. I'm not going to make the full marks there because that's not necessary. What else do we miss? I feel like we got enough to make. Oh, there it is, that 4. There's a 9, there's a 4 right there. Okay. Remove the 9 right there. 3, 7, 8. With the 8 and the 7 here, this has got to be your 3. That's your 7, that's your 8, that's your 7. Okay, you can disambiguate the 8, 7 right there. Looking good. That's got to be a 5. All right, there's your 4, 3. Hold on a second. How about 3 in the corner? Bum, bum, bum. 5, 3, 4. Let's do it that way. Nice. All right. And with the 5 here and the 4 there, that's your 7. That's your 5. Looking good. There's your 7. There's your 5 right there. Okay. 5, 7 here means this is a 9. That's going to be your 3. Displace the 3. There. With this 5, displace that 5. Solve for 5 here. Your last digit is going to be a 9. Okay, so there we go. You use a 2-string kite, you use a skyscraper to get through that one. Very fun 5-step solving process. Look forward. I'm going to come out with an advanced strategy class here in the next couple months by request. So after puzzle 3, let me check the chat out, see what you guys said. All right, Eric missed the first couple puzzles. Sorry about that, Eric. Glad to have you on the chat. I understand about work. All right, W-wing Delta variant for the 5-6 pair. Shamili, thanks for pointing that out. I wish I would have seen that. Nice, nice. SG got an XY wing. Multiple is multiple different types of solving. Thank you so much for pointing all that stuff out. With a puzzle like this, it is kind of fun. You can go multiple directions and get multiple solve paths. I do donate a portion proceeds to Agape International Missions. You can find out more about it on the aimfree.org or on the website. They're fighting human trafficking. Last month, we raised $568 to stop human trafficking. Yearly total, $2,625. Unbelievable. And I will put that in the newsletter. Thank you for your support. I'm glad that we can give back to the community through AIM, really growing by leaps and bounds here. And so I will edit this video, and it will be available again tomorrow for those of you who may have missed it or want to review it. And also the newsletter is going to be coming out, plus my next video is coming out on Wednesday, and you'll get caught up on everything with the newsletter going on with the channel and with Smart Hobbies. A lot of big changes between now and the end of the year. I hope you be a part of it. In case you didn't catch it, I made a note. I'm only going to be doing one video a week now. Wednesdays is the only time you're going to see a video on Smart Hobbies YouTube channel. I will continue to do live streams once a month, like you just saw here, and I will continue to do bonus videos, but I need more time to work on some of these courses that you guys have asked for. I got my 30-day Sudoku challenge coming out. I want to do the advanced strategy course all by the end of the year, and I just need a little bit more time, less of the YouTube videos in order to make that happen. So thank you for your patience in that. In the meantime, you got over 700 other solving videos you can check out. If you're a Sparring Party member, check out some of these puzzle packs. Send me your correct solutions. I'm just in awe of all that you guys have done to make this a great community. And you're helping keep your mind sharp. Thank you again. And as always, thank you so much for watching.